three words. I heard them at the bank counter more than almost anything else. And every single time, they worried me far more than the women saying them ever realized it. Not I have no money, not I am in debt. Just he handles everything. And every time I wanted to ask one more question, only one, if one day he couldn't, would you even know where to look? For 3 years, I sat on the side of the desk that sees what a marriage actually looks like on paper. And I learned something that still surprises me the most. Financially fragile women in that room was almost never the one with the least money. She was the one who had never once had to find it herself. And I'll be honest with you, this is the quietest danger I will ever warn you about, which is exactly why it catches the most women. Let me tell you about a woman I'll call Ria. By every measure, Ria was comfortable, a lovely home, a husband who was genuinely good with money, careful, responsible, the kind of man who quietly takes care of his family. There's no villain in this story, none. And Ria used to say it with a kind of pride. I don't worry about any of that. He handles everything. The bills, the savings, the investments, the insurance, all of it lived in his world, and she was happy to let it stay there. Then one ordinary afternoon, her husband collapsed. A health emergency, sudden, frightening, the kind no family ever plans for. He survived. Thank God he did. But for weeks, he could not speak about money, could not log into anything, could not tell her where a single thing was. And Ria, intelligent, capable Ria, sat at her own dining table and realized she did not know the most basic facts about her own life. Which bank held their savings, what insurance they had, or how to claim it, whether money was due that month or owed, where the documents even were, the passwords, the policy numbers, the name of one person at the bank who actually knew them. She wasn't locked out by a lie. She was locked out by a habit, the habit of never having to look. And here's the question I want you to keep holding while I tell you the rest. If that afternoon were yours, would you know where to look? Ria's story teaches four things, and not one of them is about how much money you have. One, comfort is not the same as security. Being well looked after feels like safety, but they are not the same thing. Comfort is someone handing you what you need. Security is knowing if you ever had to, you could reach it yourself. Ria had all the comfort in the world and almost no security. Number two, you cannot reach what you cannot find in an emergency. Money you cannot locate is money you do not have. It doesn't matter how much is sitting in that account if you don't know which bank it's in. In a crisis, visibility is access, and access is everything. And this next one is the one I most want you to hear because it's where even the smartest women slip. Number three, she gave away the task, not her right to see. There's nothing wrong with one person managing the money. Marriages divide work. That's healthy. But Ria didn't only hand over the task of managing it, she slowly handed over her sight. And those are two completely different things. You can let someone else drive and still keep your eyes on the road. Number four, the gap stays invisible until the one day it matters. Nothing felt wrong. For years, nothing felt wrong at all. That's the quiet danger of this one. It isn't loud like debt or obvious like ownership. It's just a closed door you never had a reason to open up. Right up until the day your whole life depends on what's behind it. So, this week, I'm not going to ask you to take over your family's money. That is not the point. I'm going to ask for four small, calm things. None of them need a single rupee, dollar, or dirham to change hands. One, make one list, just a map where the accounts are, what insurance exists, what's owed, and where the important papers live. You don't have to memorize amounts, you only need to know where to look. Number two, Know how to find out your way in. Quietly make sure the logins aren't a wall only one person in your home can ever cross. Not to take control, just so that in an emergency, the door isn't locked from your side too. Number three, sit on the same side once. Ask your partner for one calm conversation, not because something is wrong, but because two people who build a life together should both be able to find it. Frame it as a teamwork because that is exactly what it is. Number four, write down one name, the one person, an advisor, a trusted relative, a friend who's got with this. You would call first if you suddenly had to handle everything alone. Everyone should have that name written somewhere they can reach. That's it. A list, a way in, a conversation, and a name. I'm not here to give you financial advice. I'm here to make sure you are never sitting at a table holding a question about your own life that you cannot answer. So let me come back to where we began. If everything stopped tomorrow, would you know where to look? For Ria, for a few terrifying weeks, the answer was no. Not because she wasn't smart, not because she wasn't loved, but because somewhere along the way, he handles everything had quietly become, and I stopped being able to. So here's the truth I want to leave you with. You don't have to control the money to be safe. You just have to be able to find it. Being taken care of is a blessing. Being able to take care of yourself, that's freedom. And you are allowed to want both. That's the question I never got to ask Ria in time. So I am asking you instead. Today, while everything is calm, if it all stopped tomorrow, would you know where to look? Tell me honestly in the comments. And if this made you think of even one thing you could not answer, that's not a reason to panic. It's just a door, and now you know to open it. I am CS Saloni Nagpal. I help women build their financial identity after marriage, not by taking anything away from anyone, but by making sure you never disappear inside your own life. I'll see you in the next one.